what? Hello. I've got this whole tossing of the hair going on. I'm just going to leave it on up there. It kind of flip-flops all over the place. I am celebrating life. Life is good. I got Buddy over here. I am enjoying the sunshine. So I thought I'd try to share some of it with y'all. The breath of life. I'm celebrating. How are you showing up? Are you celebrating life? Are you enjoying your life? Make sure that you can hear me. If you have any trouble hearing me, let me know. There's a bit of wind in the background. It is that time of year where the air, the breeze, we are in flow. We're one with the universe. Hallelujah. I am feeling extremely jazzed up, y'all. This is my celebratory day. It's Tickle Me Thursday, Throwback Thursday. Let's try to find reasons to smile. Look for things to be grateful for. What do you appreciate? Are you feeling like a Muppet with a mop on your head? Do you have puppy dogs licking themselves while you're sleeping and taking a nap? Are there things that take you out of your peace and your presence? Or are you celebrating every little magical moment, every little mysterious miracle that it's unexplainable, but it just feels good because it shows up just for you in your life? So really, truly this morning, I had to get up anyway, and I have a daily, every Thursday, I have this 7 a.m. conference call for this Beyond Addiction program that I'm finishing up. And we have one more week. Hey Sarai, how are you, beautiful? I hope I pronounce your name correctly. Let me know if that's right. Hi Lexi. So this morning and last night I went to bed basically updating my iPhone, so I had to click the settings. Hi Justin. And I forgot to set the alarm. So I woke up about 10 minutes before. Thank you very much, dear. I love this top. I need to cover my back, get my back sun, right? So I woke up 10 minutes before I was supposed to be on my conference call, which I found, of course, this is just how divine my life is. I always have appropriate timing when I allow the flow, right? And I just go with it. And so I got up and I got on the call, and awesome. And I just really was in reflection because the theme for this module that we were covering is I keep up and I am kept up. And so ironically, when I look over the past week since my last call, I notice how that's shown up for me in my life. Not just over the past week, but over the course of my life. And so this is why I feel like today's theme is celebrate the magic in your life. Celebrate the magic of your life. How does it show up in your life? There's a lot of crazy stuff going on around us. We can get caught up in it. We can let it take us out of our own magic and miracles and our own blessings. But they're very minuscule. So when you allow something bigger and outside of yourself to take you out of the truly more impactful moments of your own personal life, then you're not living your life. You're taken out of, you're not present. You're distracted, right? You're dissing your own life, cutting off your life force, your prana, your flow. And what I've found is that I don't watch television or I get caught up in the news and the media because all that's ever served me in is getting me upset about something I have absolutely no control over. And it doesn't even really, it's not relevant to my personal life. If I don't have control over it, why am I going to get upset with it? Why am I going to put my attention over there when all I need is to be present right here? So in order for life to show up for you, you have to show up for you. When you show up for all this other stuff that's happening on out here, what's going on here? It's basically a form of escaping your own personal life by getting caught up in something that's not even in your life. Oh yeah, okay, it is happening if you choose it to be. You can choose what shows up. You can choose what it is what you're experiencing based on where your attention is. But if I see something's going on in the world and I go into that dialogue, then I have to ask myself, what is that really about? Of course, if it does take me out of my personal life, it's probably because something has been triggered within me. Or here's an example I'm going to share. Like if I allow something to get me upset, chances are it's something within my own personal life I need to confront. And that's just showing up to show me what I need to work on. So injustices, how many of you out there have felt like I need to vindicate the masses because of what happened to me? I know what it feels like, and I want to make sure that those people have somebody to speak for them because nobody spoke for me, so therefore that's how we show up to life. We're trying to vindicate ourselves through helping others, being the voice that we didn't have or we didn't speak up. When in reality, the truth is we really just need to work on our own stuff and stop going out there and trying to fix everybody else's life, because that's not really going to fix our life. And some may say that maybe that's insensitive, but maybe it's overly sensitive. The oversensitivity means that you're not really being sensitive within. And I've done it. So obviously if I'm speaking from my personal experience. That's all I could ever do, is share what happens and what goes on up in this for me. That when I know I've been distracted with the life out here that's not even my own, it's because I recognize, oh shoot, there I go again. So this form of control, I'm trying to fix or help somebody else, imposing my idea of what perfect is or what my idea of that is. Oh, that poor person. Why look for that? Because the only reason we would look for that is we feel pity for ourselves, that we witness pity parties and situations that we feel bad for someone else. That's an internal pity party that we're projecting upon others. And so that's the only reason we see it show up. That's been my past. And it was really easy for me to recognize, oh my gosh, look at that poor person. Look at that poor person. Why do I see that? I see that because it's inside of me. And I only see it outside of me when it's inside of me. And all it's doing is showing up to remind me, look within first and stop trying to fix everyone else. Work on yourself first. Go on inside. It's the only way you're going to heal the world is through healing yourself. It's already hard enough to work on the internal stuff, and most of us don't want to be confronted with that. But to try to fix other people, that's just to make us feel comfortable, to make us feel better about ourselves. We have to work on us first. And so it's very humbling to even consider that, we want our loved ones to be happy. We want our most precious, beautiful children, our parents, our family, our friends. We want everybody to be happy. And we want them to feel comfortable. The most comfort you're ever going to give them is when you're comfortable with yourself first. And so when you can show up for yourself, you're just going to set a bar and a standard that it's okay to have healthy boundaries, and it's okay to say no when you need to say no, and then they'll learn for themselves. You show up, and when you show up for yourself, life will show up for you. And it's this wonderful ripple effect. And so that's why I titled, today's about celebrating the magic of your life, in your life. What is it that's going well for you? Because the more you focus on that, the more you grow that. And so I was taking a nap earlier, and I really, like all these beautiful feelings, sensations, I've really been celebrating in my mind, okay? How grateful I am for the magic and the miracles of my life, because I truly feel blessed. I feel gifted. And you know what? That's my special celebration, is just really feeling it fully. Because when you embrace it, when you really just allow it to be and just go, wow, that feels really good. Like, haven't you ever hugged someone and just allowed yourself to fully feel their arms around you, embracing you? Feel their breathing on your skin, feeling their heartbeat against your heartbeat, feeling their stomach rise as they inhale and your stomach rise and they meet together at those navel points. And this whole divine union of energy, and just feeling yourselves together in this embrace and both heart beating as one. Really being fully present in that moment. And just, gosh, it feels so good. And so I celebrate myself today, and knowing that I'm really trying to really feel the juiciness and the joy of every single moment as it's transpired, and trying to be fully present in the moment when it's happening. Again, as I've reiterated more than once, it's very simple, but yet it's the mind that makes it so darn difficult. When we think it's difficult or hard, we have to be very selective on our words because we're listening. Our mind is saying and thinking something, and the rest of our body, it's this whole interaction. Whatever you're thinking, the rest of you is listening to. And so if you say, oh my gosh, this is so difficult, this is so challenging, this is so hard, what you're doing is really creating that energy and reliving it. And so what you say is true because you say it and you're listening to it. You're creating your own belief system through the repetition. It's like a mantra. When you chant it in your mind as a thought, that's why mantra is so good. Mantra is about cutting through the mind chatter. Mantra, it's repetitive, and it's to raise the vibration. So whatever you're saying in your mind and hearing constantly, whatever it is, you have to be very mindful and aware of what's processing, because you're regurgitating it in everything. What you touch, what you see, it's all a reflection of what's going on up in here. And so the magic is again, when you're more mindful, when you're more aware, when you're more present, everything's more heightened. It's the taste. It's all the senses combined. It's this I feel as I expand my mind, body, and soul. I feel my heart expand and whole. I feel fulfilled. I feel, how about that? Just I feel. Feeling is so much more than just emotions, because what people don't realize, I know I had to figure this out, that the emotion really starts out in the mind. And the emotion is a response to the mind and an old trigger, an old belief, an experience that you've had, and the body relives it. Now, when we feel it in the body, it's because it's a reaction, response that goes between the mind and the body. It doesn't just happen on one side or the other. It's this whole combination of mind, body, soul interaction. And we need to be fully engaged in the present. We really need to be in our bliss and celebrating every single moment, because it is a gift. I mean, truly, I'm jazzed. So here's how my day is unfolded, other than lots of hugs and appreciation and gratitude and laughing and silliness, because that's what brings me joy. And I'm just very blessed to have a beautiful partner to share that with. I put on my running shoes, these running shoes that need to be replaced. Again, if y'all know a good running shoe, put it in the comments. I need some suggestions. I'm a little bit behind on the curve. I used to be a runner, so I don't remember, these are Mizuno's. I have a little bit of a narrow foot. I did Mizuno's, Nike, Adidas, New Balance. Those were the ones I used to do. Hi, Devon, honey. So I threw on my sneakers, my sneaks. Buddy got excited. I had an appointment with a girlfriend to meet up here, and we actually met up at this beautiful juice bar, and I got me some coffee and some almond milk because they didn't have a full big one mixed, And we just sat and talked and had a nice catch up for nearly 2 hours, which is really sweet because we hadn't seen each other in something like, Sharon, if you're hearing this later, it was like 25 years I think we were talking about. I mean, that's crazy, but it was like not like it was yesterday. And we both looked at each other, and you look the same as you did in high school. I said, there's a little bit of aging, but not much, because I feel pretty youthful. How about you? And truly, we've said we both feel so much younger than we did years ago. And in her case, she suffers with nut allergies. And so it's the appreciation of what goes right in your life that really is going to create more blessings, sun shining on your shoulders makes me happy. So I had to wear this because I needed to get some sun on my back. I got plenty on my chest yesterday. So Sharon and I sat there just having some conversations and catch-ups and seeing how life has been transpiring for one another. It's really nice when you can catch up with people from your past and you're in totally different spaces. And she remembered me from a time like when I was a sophomore in high school, for example. We knew each other from 1987, 88, when we were both in 8th grade, in middle school, and then also in sophomore year, 89, 90. And so it's, when I was a sophomore in high school, I had somebody I was in love with, and I went through a period of depression because I was in a different space back then, and also still, reeling from traumas of my childhood and trying to find ways to heal myself and not knowing what was going on and seeking ways to, connect with people and feel accepted and loved. And so I went through a depression because the young man that I was loving back then had what they called bipolar. He was bipolar, or back then they used to call it manic depressive. And he committed suicide. So that was really traumatic at that time in my life. And so we were reflecting, and I was reflecting upon how I remembered what it was like when I used to go through depression, and how I did want to end my life in those days, and how I didn't appreciate life because I thought it was outside of me. That if somebody else was gone that I felt needed to make me feel better, was no longer there to provide that, I felt a loss. But see, now I'm in a totally different space, and I can see where now I see that the loss is the disconnect from myself, not from another person. So we can't be dependent on anybody else, but we can recognize how they enhance our lives. We can recognize how we can enhance others' lives by showing up for ourselves and allowing the magic, allowing the miracles, and recognizing and celebrating them. That's what it really is. So when I looked upon that time and, I was able to say, I see how I was back then, and it really is a totally different person from where I am now. Because now I look over my life and I'm very reflective, and I've noticed how my life has really shown up the way that I have held for many years, this vision, this feeling, this sensation, although I could never really palatably see it as it was going to unfold. I trusted it. I kept the faith. And so Yogi Bhajan has one of the Aquarian Sutras. It's keep up and you will be kept up, which was the theme of today's module that we covered in my program this morning. And I've been doing Kundalini Yoga since, I think 2009. Actually, before that. It wasn't until I went to the yoga studio here in Clearwater that I realized what I had found prior in 2005, 2006, was Kundalini Yoga. I didn't recognize that at the time. But see, again, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. Sometimes we don't know it until we really have it in our face. It can kind of be in our awareness. in like this haze, like we see it off in the peripheral, but we're not ready to embrace and see it face on, head on. So it was always there. But when I started really doing my own practice, making my own time, devoting myself to bettering myself even more, like a full-time, I'm not going to say job, a full-time dedication, a full-time devotion, because that's really what it is. You have to devote to your personal growth. You want miracles and magic to truly occur, you have to really believe in you first. You have to show up for yourself first. Nobody else can do that for you. You can ask people for advice, you can show up and tell other people what they can do, but you have to be willing to do the hard work and look within. And I did that for many years, and I'm still doing it. That's never going to be over. That's my belief. If you're not growing, you're not learning, you're not trying, you're not failing, you're not succeeding, it's all relevant. That's living. And it's part of that energetic flow. Like, in order for life to move, for you to grow, to evolve, to stay young, you have to constantly be striving and just going with it and allowing life to show up to you and you to show up to it. Allow yourself to have the moments of fear, because you know what fear for me has become? It's the reminder that, oh, my ego is getting a little challenged. Something feels uncomfortable and unfamiliar. And when there's discomfort, it usually means it's unknown. Doesn't make it bad. And when you can change that and shift it, there is magic involved in that. Because that's the opportunity to say, oh my God, shift happens. Shift happens when you look at things differently. So it's a matter of changing your perspective, your view on how you see things. Oh my gosh, this feels bad, this feels good. Don't label it. Once you've labeled it, you've changed the meaning of it entirely. So when something feels uncomfortable, you should be getting excited because it's unfamiliar. Doesn't make it bad. When you think, oh my gosh, you start challenging and questioning everything you've been doing, but you've been holding faith for so long, so much trust. Remind yourself to come back to your heart and go, there's truth in here. And don't give up before the miracle, because chances are the harder it feels like it's getting, it's going to ease up eventually. You just got to stay true to your vision. And so when I reflect upon my life and I look back at all the craziness that I've been through and experienced in this life of almost 44 years, I recognize that I've had a lot of beautiful moments, and it's meant to all be celebrated. And if you can recognize them in the moment, you should be doing the happy dance every day, because there's always something. Hey, I got out of bed. That's a miracle in itself. I got some coffee with almond milk and vanilla. Life is good. The sun is shining. I can take a walk. I'm blessed because I have a life that I am able to be here. My life could have taken a completely different turn. From the time I was a little girl, I knew and felt, and just nothing could express. Words will never express the stuff that I still feel in my heart. My inner child that I still know is what drives me. Let me tell you, my inner child likes to play. And those of you who know me know I like to play. Life is only serious if we allow it to be. When we make it personal, oh my gosh, I'm supposed to be uptight and they're supposed to be serious because I'm an adult. Oh, screw that, I'm sorry. Get over that. If you're uptight because you feel like that's the way adults are supposed to behave, I think you got it all wrong. You need to rewrite the story, rewrite your story, live it differently. Go against the grain, change the norm, show up for you, and just be authentically, ridiculously, unapologetically you. There's only one of you. I hope you're not trying to be anybody but you. Because gosh darn it, how's that going to serve the rest of the world? How is that going to give others permission to be in their own personal power? So when I rise and you rise and this whole world starts changing, I mean, it's the simple little things that me and my girlfriend were reflecting upon, and I gave her some, what I would share with you. If there's somebody in your life that you feel challenges you, whether it's a family member, whether it's a loved one, whether it's a person that you used to be the best of friends with and you no longer speak with, whatever has gone on in your life, if you have a picture of them, and even if you don't have an altar, if there's one stone I could recommend you to buy, rose quartz. Find a special spot where you will look every day. Because chances are when we sever relationships with people, we're sad. Especially if it's somebody we've held love for a long time and it went sour and we're afraid we'll never speak to them again. Take a picture of that person. Hopefully you have a really happy picture of them, one that holds them in a happy light, they're smiling, you're together with them, or whatever the picture is. Place it in front of the rose quartz stone. Doesn't have to be large, doesn't have to be small. Every day that you get up, celebrate them with a smile. Look at that picture. Hold them in the highest regard, not in the they'll never change moment. Because the compassion that you hold for someone, and if you dedicate and devote and pray, however that shows up for you, it doesn't have to be a quote-unquote pray for this person. It could just be looking at that picture with the intent of seeing them in their glory, in their highest power, happy, genuinely, with or without you in their life. That when you send them a genuine, loving vibration, a smile, they may never see it, but guarantee you somehow it's felt. Because this energy, we may not see it, it exists and it connects each and every one of us. And everybody should be celebrated. You should celebrate yourself first and celebrate everybody who's ever been in your life, because no matter who they are and how they showed up to you, they've allowed you to be where you're at today in a good way. Because even if you feel challenged at this moment, I guarantee you've had some really blessed moments in your life, and those are the ones you want to focus on the most. And like I said, if your life is like 70%, 80%, even 50% really great, fantastic, going perfectly, and you have this smidgen little thing that comes in and upsets you, how does that serve you? Where does your focus go the most? Does it go back to what's really going right in your life? Or is it going back to that little itty bitty detail that all of a sudden took you out of it? It's huge. And most of us, I'm saying this from my experience again, it was really easy for me to go, did you see what just happened? Everything was going fantastic, and then I allowed to take it personal, to make it personal, to hold on to it with resentment, resistance, and anger and fury. And how did that serve me? My body got tense. I got uncomfortable. I held my breath. I went into a tizzy. I don't feel good anymore. I'm not happy. I'm not in my essence. I'm not in my personal power. I'm not in my joy. How is that going to serve you for just that little bit of time? That you can change that in a heartbeat. And it's all a matter of what's going on up in here. So when you see something isn't feeling good, take the moment to take a deep breath and celebrate again what is going right. Take yourself back. Take yourself out of that little bitty part that took you out. Because you know what? It's like this boomerang effect, this slingshot. When the rubber band comes back, you can launch forward. You can still go forward, but don't allow yourself to get held up. Don't resist or hold on to anything. Life has to stay in constant motion. Energy has to continually flow. And when we resist or try to control things, there's no flow. Personal power is innate in each and every one of us. Personal power doesn't require forcing or controlling. It just is, and it's allowing. That's the celebration and the magic. And then you know it, you feel it, you see it, you sense it, because it's ease and grace, baby. it's that magical essence and its flow, and it's like you're walking down the street and everybody's smiling at you and you're like, yeah, I got it going on. And look at these people, these beautiful, vibrant people showing up in my life. I'm walking down the street today. This woman has this beautiful banana seat bike, 1973, vintage bike. I said, oh, honey, I am loving your banana bike. I haven't seen one of those in ages. And she says, thank you. She goes, it's 1973. I said, wow, I haven't seen one in so long. I remember having one of those. And she goes, yeah, the seat's still not as comfortable, but it's okay to ride for a little bit. I said, but that's rad because it's bright orange. You know, it's smiling and having those short little dialogues with somebody that you may have uplifted their day. I saw a man, he saw Buddy and he was all excited. He goes, oh, I used to raise Labradors and I'd take them hunting. And he told me about, he had 3 different generations and how his home up in Michigan, he would take them out to the lake and they'd go hunting. And just the joy of allowing this man to speak and listen to him. You celebrate somebody when you listen, when you show up and allow them to be heard, and vice versa. Sometimes people want to hear you too. That's all magic. That's all celebration. That's all the miracle of life. This interchange, this exchange, right? I don't know. You tell me. How's magic showing up for you? And are you celebrating? Are you staying true to what it is you feel in your heart and soul? Are you getting out in nature? Listening to the Harley drive on by? Are you drinking some yummy cold pressed coffee? Cold brew coffee? Yeah, I'm pumped up on caffeine now. Actually, my neck's bothering me a little bit. Man, it smells so good. Oh, I wish you had smell-o-vision, y'all. Look at that. It's all about them good vibes, y'all. Life is precious. Celebrate those in your life that add value. Consider yourself valuable and celebrate you too. Tell me what it is that brings value to your life. What is it that you're celebrating? It's a small milestone. If it's a major life shift and change, share that with me. Tell me. You don't have to, but I love to hear the stories. What is it that maybe you held a vision for? Didn't even know if you could trust it, but you just held on and said, I don't know, I just feel it's going to happen, that showed up in your life. I was sharing that with my girlfriend today when we were sitting and catching up. I said, you know, I'm really, really blessed, and I recognize that when I reflect upon my life and I look back at all the craziness that I experienced, whether it be with my family, my friends, the people that have shown up, I said, I can't make this stuff up. I mean, I could, but the truth of the matter is I know the truth. And what's true for me is that I know how much work I've dedicated and devoted on keeping myself up. And that this Kundalini yoga for me, it's just my modality that works. Everybody's going to find something different. That for years I've been doing a daily practice. I got to the point where I was very dogmatic. I was doing 3.5, 4 hours a day. But I can tell you, I feel like I created this reserve of trust within and knowing that when I do it, I see how it unfolds in my life. I see the patience it's created for me because I was not always a patient person. That taking even 10 minutes out of the day, that when I don't do my practice, y'all, when I don't sit on my mat, I also see how it doesn't help me. It doesn't serve me. It's that time that I take, that dedication, devotion for me, that I feel that I'm also doing it for more than just myself. That I see how it affects those people in my life that are closest to me. That I truly feel like I'm not just doing the work for myself. And that in itself is even more of a drive, a more motivation for me. And then I'll celebrate it even more because I know how it's shown up. And so it's beautiful to just step back and go, wow, look at all this that is created, that I've manifested by holding strong. And in those moments when I had, a couple weeks ago, if you were watching me live, I mean, breakdowns are transformational, people. Because when there's a breakdown, that means there's a breakthrough. And that's exactly how I feel my life has been. For every breakdown, I've had a breakthrough. That's what I mean by celebrating the magic and the miracles in your life. Because a breakdown, chances are, means you had to surrender. Means you actually had to say, I can't do this. I don't know how else this is going to happen. But I got to just trust. I just got to sit in this. As most of us will say, it's uncomfortable. I feel the discomfort against comfort. You know, you break down words. The discomfort is to stir you up and remind you that, something's coming. And you might not know what it is, but don't allow it to take you out of the trust and the knowing within you that just because it's uncomfortable doesn't mean it's not meant to help you grow. Because again, when you break down, you have to surrender and put true faith and trust. Because the breakthrough that comes through is the time to celebrate. And when you look over your life and reflect, check in. How many times have you broken down and not long after there was a breakthrough? Can you honestly say that you've broken down and something beautiful didn't come of it? That's what I mean by celebrating. And I mean the small stuff and the big stuff. Right, Brandy? If you're showing up every day and you're saying to yourself, I don't know if I can give up the soda, right? I don't know if I can give up the muffins, the donuts, the coffee, the candy, the chocolate. Hey, I'm sorry. Chocolate is not an addiction. It's a pleasure. It's all good. Just my 2 cents. When you show up for you, that is key. It doesn't matter what it feels like at the time. It's just pushing through sometimes. Like I said, keep up and you'll be kept up. Because when you show up and you show up for you, the life will show up for you. The right people will show up for you. But it's all about shifting the way you think about it, the way that you talk to yourself, the dialogue in your head, being mindful of what it is you're telling yourself, because whatever you're telling yourself, your body's responding to. If your heart is happy, that's all that matters. The ego will try to be right. Look at that. That could happen again. You know, the ego, the mind, it wants to protect you, but yet it sometimes drops into those old patterns of, how dare you feel happy? Remember what you grew up hearing all that time. Don't get too excited. The shoe's going to drop. Things aren't going to work out. Who said you weren't allowed to be happy? If anything, you should be happy every moment of your day. Even if it's uncomfortable, be happy about it. It's all going to serve you in some way. Even if you have challenging resistance to wanting to celebrate, do it anyway. Jump up, put some good music on, and dance. Because y'all know I need to get down. I got to move my body. Move my body. Dance, dance. What you going to do? Good vibes. So I grew up in a house, it was all about dancing. My mom, she put on the oldies. Celebrate good times. Come on. That was one of my favorite songs too. There's a party going on right here. A celebration to last throughout the year. So bring your good times and your laughter too. We're gonna celebrate this party for you. Come on. Celebration. Come on. That's what I want y'all to do. That's the challenge I'm going to put out to you. If you have the courage and the wherewithal, click the live button. Go into Ridiculously Authentic. Go into the group, because it is closed for those of you who are part of it. Click the live button. Get your body up there and dance till you can't stand it. Move your body, celebrate. Actually, you don't even have to dance, but show me how you celebrate you. If I were to put a challenge out there, hashtag celebrate you. Let it be your Throwback Thursday. Let it be your dedication, showing up for you, and dance or sing or show your art. Whatever it is that you do to celebrate you. Maybe you're going to show me your coffee. Maybe you do kombucha. Celebrate you. Tell me what's the miracle, what's the magic that shows up in your life. Thank you, Brandy, because that's what it is about. It really is about showing up for you. The rest is all perfectly divine. It's all going to show up as it's meant to. And the more you're grateful for and appreciating, it's going to grow. Doesn't that feel good? Can you feel the breeze? Can you smell the air? What can you hear? It really is all about moving the energy, shifting and shaking and flowing and growing. Feel it, yeah, feel it, yeah. Life is what you make it. So make it fun. Play. Let your inner child out. How are you going to let your inner child grow if you don't go with the flow? So I had someone reach out to me recently and they asked me, how do I heal my inner child? And it was too long of a response for me to respond to one person. I feel it's more important that I share it with all of you, and hopefully that same person will hear this message as well. When you're feeling, see, we're disconnected from our childhood. Most of us have tried to shut off a lot of our trauma and the stuff that happened to us as we were younger, and that pushing and suppressing, the inability to want to even go there, let's say, is really what keeps us from growing and living truly present, fully in this moment, and really showing up for ourselves. The only way you can truly 100% show up for yourself is when you embrace every aspect, every part of yourself to allow you to be fully whole. So many of you have heard me say, my morning mantra is, may I align with the flow of my soul and allow it to make me whole. What has happened and what happened in my life was that I was always seeking some way to feel more complete, something missing. Well, the thing that was missing was embracing every aspect, every part of me, and allowing it to integrate and make me whole, to be whole, instead of shunning that part that I dislike about myself, or denying that part that maybe I'm embarrassed about, or I'm ashamed about this, and so therefore I can't talk about it. All of it is what makes you who you are today. And to embrace every part of you is about making yourself whole. It's not about shaming yourself, blaming yourself, feeling guilty or obliged or obligated to be this person that someone wanted you to be. It's totally taking your inner child and going, you know what? I love you. I am so here for you. I'm so sorry if you ever felt abandoned, because most of our inner children are sitting there going, I'm still here. Could you just acknowledge me? And that's a simple little thing, like I share. Place your left hand on your heart. I gotta see if I can put that down. There we go. Place your left hand on your heart and your right hand on your belly. Close your eyes down. Picture yourself at whatever age it is that you feel that maybe you've dealt with traumas. Breathing in deeply into your pelvic floor. See yourself at those ages, and even if you were going through something traumatic, remind yourself there was a time even during that period there had to have been some form of joy for you. And just picture yourself holding and hugging that inner child. Feel and picture yourself as that inner child in your heart space. Breathe fully embracing him or her, and say, I love you so much. I'm not going to let anything like that ever happen to you again. Let's be at peace together. Remind me what it is that is playful and fun for us. Allow that inner child to give you the wisdom, because guess what? There was a point when your inner child really knew better than we do as adults, and still does. And you can consult your inner child for guidance of love and what can we do to have more joy today. You can always tap into your inner child and say, what would you like to do today that will make this day more amazing? What will bring you joy? And you know, sometimes you're going to get a picture, you're going to get a word, a song, a phrase, maybe even an old stuffed teddy bear or toy. Something will pop into your awareness, right? And what's really beautiful about tapping into your inner child, there's wisdom in every moment that you sit with him or her, if you allow it. Whether it's in a meditation, you just take a moment to breathe into that. I'll tell you what mine just told me. Signs, exactly, Cheryl. My inner child just said, go skipping down the sidewalk. How does that sound? Do you remember skipping? Do you remember doing cartwheels? Do you remember those merry-go-rounds, the ones you used to push and jump on and the sand was around it? Do you remember the monkey bars? I broke my wrist on one of them. Do you remember those big rounded dome-ish like bars that you used to climb on top of? The slides, obstacle courses, all of these things. Now, those are simple things, or maybe even a video game. Me, I had to be outside as a child. I would be happy in my treehouse with a hammer and nails. Backflips, Brandy, girlfriend. That's rad. I have to admit, wasn't so good with that. I tried it a couple times. Because I broke my wrists, and I used to be a gymnast when I was a little kid. I broke my wrists. One was roller skating, and the other one was falling off of the monkey bars. I never fully recovered from those injuries and had a little bit of a fear, so I didn't do so well with those. But, oh my God, jump in the bed. Yes, Sarai, I love that. We did that too. Do that. Do that today. If you're seeing this video, that would be a rad video to do in the group. Set up your camera. Jump up and down on your bed. Who doesn't have fun doing that? I'll do it with you. If you go live, I'll go live with you and I'll jump with you. Oh gosh, now I want a trampoline. I got plenty of space in my backyard for a trampoline. Even plenty of space for the trampoline and the garden. But tell me what it is that brings you joy. Tell me what your inner child tells you. What is it that you tap into that shows up for you? And you're like, wow, you know, I forgot all about that. Because that inner child's going to bring up stuff if you're willing to listen and show up for her or him. No, you're not, Brandy. And if you break it, you should be laughing too and have fun with that. Don't worry about it. But I want to see people go live. I want you to share your inner child, your joy, and celebrate you. Celebrate the magic of your life. Rebounders are amazing. So true. Tina, let's rebound. It's all about getting that lymph system going. I'm going to skip up the street here with Buddy here shortly. Ooh, wild camping sounds fun too. Foraging in the forest. See, that was another thing I used to love to do as a kid. Baboofas. Oh, honey, there's a lot of laughing going in the house with the baboofas with Tom. Let me tell you, I'll just put that out there. And that in itself is one of the many things that makes me laugh and grateful every single day that I celebrate. Because I don't know about anybody else, but I've never had anybody in my life that just encouraged some of the things that we do. So yeah, celebrate you, go in the group, do a live video. I would truly appreciate that, and I will show up with you. And if you want me to go live with you, I'll jump in there on a video with you too. Let's play. That's what this is about. That's what about this life. This life was meant to be about playing. So again, that is a celebration. When you're playing, that's celebrating you. That's celebrating life. And more play will show up. And that's where you're going to get your glow on, peeps. You want to stay young, healthy, vibrant? Keep playing. Because who said we had to stop? When we stopped playing, that was a form of cutting off our life supply. That's what kind of suppressed and caused our inner children to go into this sulky mode, right? Do you ever see these people? They're very bitter. They're very unhappy. They walk around. They're all hunched over, right? They rarely smile, and if they do, it's almost one of those moments where you want to celebrate just the smile that you can bring out of them. But often it's because they lost that connection to their inner child, and their inner child is just waiting. All of our inner children are just going, anytime you're ready, I'm here. Please bring me home, bring me out to play. So again, this is what today, if you haven't already been doing, play, play, play. It's all about celebrating, having fun. Get your giddy on. I always say get your giddy on, get your giddy up. I think I could do a love spin boom for all the... I'm in a good spot for this. So I'm going to keep that challenge. Again, hashtag celebrate life. Give me some comments. What are you going to do today? Let me know if you're going to go live in the group. I will, like I said, I will join you. I want to celebrate you too. That's why I'm here. It's all about celebrating. Celebrate good times. Come on. All right, we're going to do a love spin boom. Because that's what it's about. Look, the sun's shining. Boom. Because mine's more like a bunny hop. I love you all. See, and when you surround yourself like Sarai and you have children, they are meant to keep you youthful. When you hang out with younger people, or at least youthful minds, that will continue to keep you young and vibrant. That's where the vitality is. So, get your giddy up. I love you so much. From my heart to yours, my inner child celebrates you, and I want you to celebrate you and your inner child. So, enjoy, because that's all you got, is to live in joy. I love you. What?